Okay, this is the new palette too. I have set up in multi-spool mode just to do continuous printing. It's almost done with its first spool. I'm gonna watch it and see it do its first splice. You can see the multi-spool 30 to 11 meters. I'm nervous because I haven't seen this print yet. I'm printing more parts for the Joelbot, life-size Joelbot. As you can see, I have a bunch of parts on the floor that I haven't put together yet. There you go. So it should trigger right here, and that should stop the process, and there's a loop here that should give it a buffer when it finds out. I notice it kind of pulls a little bit at a time until it creates that loop, and there you go. So now it's going to cut that part off. It pulled it back. It's pulling the second one in. It's splicing it. As it's printing, it's still feeding some into the loop. I could smell the burning PLA smell, so I think it did the splice successfully. And now it's feeding the filament in, so we should see the splice in this feed loop pretty soon. So it's gonna pull it. I think it's cooling it right now. And then it should feed out as soon as it comes out. There we go. So you see it. It's kind of hard to see. When it feeds some more, I'll show you. Because it's the same color, you can't really see it. We'll wait for the loop to go through. It looks like a pretty solid splice though, because it's not breaking in the line. You can see I'm using the medium tube, going to the Artemis, using the Artemis. There's a secondary one that somebody else designed that just presses in there with the little rubber grommet. Holds in. Let's see if we can find a splice. Oh, here it is. You can kind of see it because it doesn't bend as easily as the other one. The other splices, it doesn't bend as easily. So yeah, it's a slightly fatter spot right there. I think you can barely see it, but that's pretty impressive. You can see it kind of bends differently than the rest of the filament. So it's gonna go. It does this thing where it advances a little bit, and then it goes. It kind of does a tight radius to kind of calibrate itself, and then it touches the buffer switch, and then it feeds out, and then it tries to do little increments again. So I'm not sure how it works exactly. There you go. Now it's gonna feed that that splice joint into the encoder wheel. So. I did have to because they're crimped at the end inside these spool holes. I had to release this part. I did it on this one. I'm gonna watch it for this one too, but then I think by this time I should have the whole part printed. So if you get these kind of spools, make sure you have you kind of relieve the end of them off. You can break them off inside the diameter of the spool. That way they'll feed properly at the end. They should have enough tension. I should be using. I got the rep box up there. I just haven't set it up because it feeds from the bottom, so I have to flip the palette upside down and probably mount it somewhere around my shelf up here. So anyway, that's the palette too. I haven't done multicolor printing yet, but that's going to take some calibration. But really what I wanted it for is to do this continuous spool printing. So thank you.